The following story contains adult situations in adult language. Hide your kids. Keep them innocent.
I hated everything about my life. At school, I wasn't cool. I was popular as in everybody knew me, but I was popular as that weird guy. Just no one wanted to be around. It's kind of hard to explain. And then I go home and I was a middle child. You probably already heard the stories about how that goes. So I pretty much got ignored the whole time. It was just between bullies and my parents just yelling at me to do things for my little brother and my older brother. I couldn't deal with it. It's just, I read comics every now and then. It just takes me out of it. I even came up with my own character, gave him his own powers, and named him Obscura, because I'm such a weirdo. My power was to turn invisible and shoot invisible blasts of energy from my hands. I know, it sounds real stupid, but I didn't care. It's the only real thing I felt would be realistic for me.
Smith said that standing up like he was lecturing somebody at college or something. I couldn't take it. I couldn't believe this dude was in jail. This is weird. Nothing seems jailish about this nigga ever. He's a dork. He's 5'11". He's a $140 most. Only thing that made me think this dude might have a little cuckoo in his head and I don't want to mess with him is that little tattoo. It was a smiley face, yellow tint, had a splash of blood on it. I recognized it later on, but that wasn't until he told me. I had to ask him, how did you get that tat? And he said,
back in school, there was this girl named Josephine Black.
Oh, is that a porn star?
Shut up! Don't say that about her.
Okay. So, Josephine Black, what does she got to do with it?
She had this classy look to her. Her hair was 100% real. She would come to school wearing these vintage clothes. She kind of looked like a kid in the 90s, but with style, you know? Her body was always on point because she was a gymnast. It was just, couldn't even look at it too long without just feeling a certain way.
Yeah, and she didn't like you because, let me guess, your shoes didn't shine and money was tight.
What?
Man, same old story. Continue.
Well, if you let me finish, I wanted to get her attention, of course, but I don't know. She isn't going to pay attention to a dude who's just regular. Every time I ever even hear girls talk about guys, it's either they're guys that are already dating that they think are all that but ain't, or rappers and singers on the radio. Be like Kid Ink, Lil Wayne, just etc. And the only thing that really tied them all together was their ink. One weekend, I was going downtown and I found out about a party. I had never heard of it before. Well, that's a lie. I actually did. I had heard about it around school, but I didn't think it'd be easy to get into, so I didn't even bother. When I was downtown, I went to Shake Shack, and as I was eating my burger, I heard some kids I recognized from around campus talking about a party that was going around Bridgemount. So I followed them, and surprisingly, all you had to do to get in the party was walk in the front door. I didn't really know anybody there, but I recognized Josephine the second I saw her. I tried to walk up and talk to her, but this guy she was already talking to just pushed me out the way. He just tossed a drink at me and threw me over the couch. I fell so hard I knocked it over. I could hear everybody laughing, so I just assumed she was too. So, next thing I know, I'm going over to the punch bowl and filling my cup up every 10 minutes just to deal with the fact that I'm there, because I hate parties. But I'll be damned if I'm going to be a bitch and leave after that shit. Next thing I know, I'm waking up. I'm just hung the fuck over. I can't see anything. I was just out of my mind. I look up and I see things drawn on the ceiling. I look harder at it, and I realized that my handwriting is right below the picture. Then I looked at the picture, and it looked like these two little blobs. After I squinted some, I realized the blobs were mushrooms.
What? So, what does that mean?
I think I took mushrooms that night. Yeah. So, I woke up, I went upstairs to splash some water on my face and get some water out of the sink because I do not know if there was even any clean water in this house. And I look in the mirror and I see the watchman symbol on my face.
Wait, you mean Watchmen, like that movie a couple years ago with that glowing dude who looks like God?
Whoa.
Nigga, fuck you,
first
Jesus.
First of all, Mr. Manhattan is way more practical than God.
I said, can you hear me? I said, can you hear me?
Oh my God, keep that shit in church. I'm sorry, keep that in Tyler Perry.
Oh, you think you
want to hear the rest of the story or not?
All right, continue.
That's what I thought.
Wait, are you trying to get this damn ass whooping? You about to get raped in here by Big Marsha.
Wait, Big who?
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell.
I'm gonna put a pin in that.
I'm not gonna mess with another dude's mail, yo. So, back to your story of love lost and not getting the booty.
So when I woke up, I went over to the tattoo guy. I could tell it was him because he was drenched from head to toe in tats. I mean, seriously, it was not a speck of anything on him. It was just completely black ink. I don't even know what tone he was because even his face was tatted. I think his name was Travis. It was written on his neck. I can see why I would be cool with it. He looks like the type of dude who had the look that I wanted to get. I tried to wake him up, but he wouldn't wake up. No matter how hard I shook him, he just wouldn't wake up. Then I looked around at everybody, and they're just staring at me. And then they start laughing. And then they get really quiet. And it's like they're acting like I don't even exist. I'm screaming at them, and I'm screaming at them, and I'm screaming at them, and it's like they're not even reacting. I went berserk and just destroyed everything in sight. Why won't you pay attention to me? Why? Between the smoke from everything I was breaking and the marijuana smoke, I couldn't tell the difference. I just swung my hands around as hard as I could, kicking everything I could, breaking utter madness. Then I saw Obscuro jump out of the haze and smoke and just grab a monkey wrench that was on the floor and start bashing in everyone's heads. He was so quick on his feet and hard to catch, I just couldn't pull him back. There's blood everywhere. I calmed down and I saw a massacre. And Obscuro was gone. I ran out of the door, so afraid the cops would show up, I didn't even check for survivors. But they were. There were survivors. You can never tell. It looked like a room full of dead zombies. Pretty much was, right? Students are always zombies.
Man, and then out of nowhere, a smile cracked on this kid's face, and it was so wild. It was just so wide. I had never seen one before. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? Is he a crack baby or some shit? I don't understand. It's just like, it's almost as if he didn't even realize he enjoyed it. There were beads of sweat coming off his head. I don't mean like cold sweat. This was warm sweat. This was like heat of the moment, good sex sweat shit. Yeah. I tried to change the subject because this got too crazy. This is jail. I don't want to know if my roommate's going to whack me. I'd rather just have it happen in my sleep, you know? Rather than just be afraid the whole time. I changed the subject, and that's how people reacted to him. To his tattoo, his new appearance.
Well, when I first got it, I went home and burned all the blood-soaked clothes. Then I covered up with my mom's makeup. Next day, I went to school. I got looks. As the day went on, people started looking more and more, and the makeup started coming off. I didn't even think I should bring it with me. It was already weird enough wearing my mom's makeup. To my surprise, people who didn't even know me before said that they liked the tattoo. The girls were loving it. Like, My whole outlook on life, my confidence, everything was skyrocketing. I felt like a superstar. I was fucking Tony Stark, man. It was just crazy. So they kept asking me if I was going to get more. And I didn't even know what to tell them. I just said, like, yeah, I'm going to get one on my shoulder. I'm going to get one across my fist. I'm going to get one on my neck. Everywhere. Then I went home with it. And my mom started crying. My dad's giving me this lecture about how I'm not going to be able to get a good job with this. And my little brother was the worst. He just kept laughing at me. Pointing at my face, laughing at me. And when I said stop laughing, he's like, the smile on your face ain't done laughing. But I wasn't going to let anyone tell me this was a mistake. Out of all the crap I've done, all the good grades that never panned out, all the things I aimed for, no one was going to tell me that this wasn't worth it.
As he's talking, his head is just getting so big. I could literally see this thing blowing up. It was a blimp, yo. Then I realized something. How come he isn't bringing up the girl that this whole thing was about? So when I call him on it, he just freaks. He just, grown man, tears. I swear it was like, yo, what about the girl? And his response, priceless.
She wouldn't even look at me. She did. She looked at me like I was a freak. I asked her if she liked it or not, and she said no. She got all nervous. She was jittering. I could feel the nerve in my bones. And then she says, I liked you better before. She tries to walk away from me. I grab her arm and I say, why didn't you tell me that? She hit me with her handbag and told me to let her go. Like I was mugging her. That day, I knew I just couldn't let this happen. She was not going to walk away from this. That's so unfair. Why do I have to make all the first moves? Why couldn't she have just told me she liked me a little? Or I don't even know. It's just so fucked. I didn't draw any attention to myself. I went to class. I went about my day normally. But Obscuro, he followed her everywhere. She was not getting out of his sight. She could go to the bathroom. He was going to be watching from the window, smiling and enjoying it, having the time of his life. He was going to be a part of her. He was going to understand everything about her.
I started to realize this kid didn't belong in a fucking prison. He belonged in an insane asylum. He belonged in Arkham Asylum, in the cell right between the Joker and Hugo Strange. Motherfucker, no. I can't hold this in. I know too much now. I signaled the guard. I told him I feared for my safety. Hey, the guard went away. He went to go tell his superiors or something. Bullshit in this fucking system. They will leave you in here with them, y'all. If I had just stopped the whole conversation and went to sleep or something, he would have known something was up. Plus, I can't turn my back to this kid. So I went in deeper. I asked him, so you stalked her and murdered her because you knew you couldn't have her?
See, Christian, I knew you were gonna go there. I didn't fucking kill her. Obscuro did. He murdered the only woman I ever loved. But I swear, the night he killed her, I was closest to getting her. I could feel it. I knew it. We sat in her closet on top of an old toy box for an hour almost until she got out of the shower. Her hair was wet and kind of bally, all hanging down her shoulder. Her skin was caramel. We let that down, and her back was smooth and led right down to her wide hips. She put her panties on, no bra. She was just staring at her nightstand, laughing at a picture on her phone or something. Right then, Obscuro just bursted out of the fucking closet like an idiot. And then he just says, you got a choice. You can give it to me, or I can take it. And she chose neither. She was just stunned. She started screaming, what are you doing here? And he goes, fine, pulls out a Swiss Army knife, puts it to her neck, and then bends her over backwards. I wanted to stop him, but I wasn't getting in the way of that fucking maniac, so I just sat there and watched the unthinkable.
All right, stop everything. Cut the music, everything. Because this nigga right in the middle of the cell, right in front of me, while staring forward and not even looking down at his pants, started jerking himself off. It was the most demented thing. The way he looked forward, it was like he was looking into a blank space when no one was there almost. But he was talking like he was talking directly to me. All right, continue.
I don't know what happened. I kept screaming, why? I kept screaming, why? Over and over. Why? Why are you doing this? Why? Leave her alone. She hasn't done anything. She doesn't even know what's happening. But he just kept going. When he was done, she just wasn't even moving. I didn't even know if he cut her throat. He just jumped out of the fucking window and left me to fend for myself. He's still on the loose. He's still on the loose. Get me out of here!
As this kid is talking, as he's talking to the guard, I'm realizing more and more, he said he was screaming, why? So, was he raping this bitch and screaming, why, into her face? That shit is horrifying. God damn, that poor girl. Meanwhile,
I didn't do anything. You idiot fucking guard. How much do you make? 15 an hour? Huh? And is your wife plowing some other guy while you're here? I bet she is. And I bet she's liking it like the whore she is. Let me out!
he's fucking verbally gladiating against this guard. This guard is sitting there, his face is getting red. This cat is just going in on this guard's wife. He's just doing imitations. He's talking about how his wife probably is fucking another guy while saying he's better than him. That's some fucked up porno fucking shit to say to a fucking guard. The guard flags me out of the room, and then they just beat the shit out of Alan. It was amazing. It was hilarious and amazing. He was freaking out. He was just going. It was almost like he was seizing. I don't even know if he knows what happened to him. His dick was just still hanging out from the beat off. So after that, I brought that up at my next sentencing hearing. And so after that, I brought it all up at my next hearing, right? And they said because I had been through a traumatic experience in jail and I was a minor offender, I could get out on a probation. So the first thing I did was go home and write his story. Until this day, I'm still scared of that guy getting out of jail. I mean, you really want Alan? I mean, Obscuro going after you?
Josephine. Josephine, I know you're out there.
Hey, I want to thank you all for taking the time to listen to this very thrilling and creepy story. Shout out to Andrew. He provided the voice of Alan and Christian, and he's also one of my longtime collaborators on a student body. I'm going to leave a link to his SoundCloud, so please be sure to check it out, and please don't forget to share and like, comment, all that fun stuff, and we'll have some more stuff in the near future. Like, what do you want? What else you guys want? Let me know.